party leader Raila Odinga takes his Azimio la Umoja campaign to Isiolo County, as Deputy President William Ruto popularizes his hustler narrative in Mombasa. And we bring you the story of cleft lip and cleft palate, which is the most common birth defect in Kenya, which occurs once in every 1,300 births. Talk to us via social media platforms Switch TV Kenya, Joel Chacha M on Twitter, as well on Facebook, Switch TV Kenya and Joel Chacha. Send in an SMS via 111 And we begin. President Uhuru Kenyatta has hinted that he might not lift the curfew after noticing an increase in newborns during KDF celebrations. On October 4th, the government extended the national curfew for another 30 days to Thursday, November 4th. The head of state has been adamant in enforcing the 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew directive since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Kenyans decrying the curfew has ripple effects of the economy. During his address at Kahawa Garrison, the president also celebrated KDF officers and their families as heroes of peace and development. He noted that he was planning to include them in the affordable housing project, promising to commission a groundbreaking project before the year ends.
Tunawarudishia asante sana. Tunawapatia wanajeshi wetu wote hongera, na pia tunashukuru sana jamii za hawa wanajeshi kwa vile mmewashikilia, kuwasaidia na kuwapatia moyo.
The president unveiled East Africa's first public molecular imaging center at the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kiambu County. The center has a capacity to host up to 100 patients and their families during their stay at the hospital. The head of state also noted that the government is reforming NHIF to offer adequate medical cover for Kenyans. Chapter Boit with the details.
And there we are.
The ultra-modern medical facility is the first of its kind in the country, equipped with a state-of-the-art equipment to offer comprehensive cancer management services in the country. Speaking at the facility's launch, President Kenyatta said that the government was expanding healthcare by equipping health facilities, training more personnel, and constructing new facilities.
My administration continues to make remarkable progress in addressing affordability of healthcare services through, as I said, the repurposing of NHIF. Under this framework, NHIF will cover diagnostic tests at the Integrated Molecular Imaging Center here at KU Hospital.
The president said last year 6,451 cancer patients benefited from the NHIF oncology package and urged all Kenyans to sign up with the public health insurer.
This medical cover will increase access to healthcare services at affordable rates. The NHIF cover already caters for cancer treatment, including radiotherapy, chemotherapy, brachytherapy.
Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe commended the president for the government's growing investments in the health sector, noting that for the first time in Kenya's history, public hospitals were better equipped compared to private healthcare providers.
The partnership between the private sector and the public sector is going to be now on more equal basis. And indeed, this is the first time when we are going to see private hospitals referring their patients to public hospitals.
Kiambu Governor James Nyoro, his Kisumu counterpart Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, and Murang'a County Member of Parliament Sabina Chege were among several senior government officials at the unveiling. Chepto Boit, Switch TV.
We now focus on this particular health story. The cleft lip and cleft palate, which is the most common birth defect in Kenya, occurs once in every 1,300 births. Unfortunately, a lot of parents cannot afford corrective surgery needed, and as a result, the children are forced to grow with stigma and social rejection. Even more worrying is that children born with cleft lip and palate have a short lifespan if they remain untreated and could die within a period of 1 year. Harry Chimea brings us the story of the success stories of parents who have embraced the surgery for their children who are now living normal lives with bright smiles on their faces. Take more.
Damaris Monday, born with cleft palate.
Nikiwa shule mchezo, sikuwa na participate, lakini nilikuwa naenda tu. Tulikuwa tushazoeana, tukazoeana tu tukiwa wote. Juu kuna wengine wako na shida kubwa kuniliko. Nikaona tu mimi niko afadhali, niko na miguu.
Following her constructive surgery, today she smiles. Mutuku Wambua recalls when his son Kioko was born with the condition.
Nikakaa na yeye tukalea, anajua vile tunaendelea kumlea na huyo mtoto anaendelea kupasuka. Tukakaa, sasa ameshapandilika, amekuwa mtu hata hajui kama amekuwa amepasuliwa.
Vivian Mansari, also born with the same condition. Today, as she dances and smiles, one cannot tell the pain she went through as she advocates for the condition.
Whenever you give back a child, you have to eat the child. Like open the mouth of the child, you are eating that baby. The only the nose. You have to know that child is born with cleft palate.
Cleft palate, a condition which at times is hereditary, is also caused due to nutritional deficiency among expectant mothers or exposure to radiations such as X-rays during pregnancy.
1 in 10 patients born with a cleft die before they get to the first year.
The management of a birth difference is more difficult due to late diagnosis of cleft and the lack of resources to enable prompt management.
The condition, if not corrected between 3 months to 1 year, the child experiences eating, breathing, hearing, and speech difficulties. And on top of that, the unrelenting stigma.
Wamama wengine walikuja kumwangalia, wakasema nilizaa mbanyangu. Walikuwa wanaita hivyo.
When I was young, kids used to abuse me and laugh at me. They used to say that I was ugly, scary, and my mouth was cracked, and I should stop playing with them.
They named me the dead girl. And I want to go back like that. The idea I want to kill myself. Because they know you or me or leave.
Cleft lip is not witchcraft. Cleft lip is not a myth.
Parents and caregivers with children or adults with such condition are urged to seek medical assistance in a bid to help them regain their self-esteem and lead normal lives.
What a lot of that transformation is really is the transformation of the confidence of that child, the child feeling capable that they belong, that they fit into society, and even of the family of that child, and therefore the community of that child.
It is said a smile is worth 1,000 words. For more than 10,000 children in the country, this has become a reality. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Harriet Chimea.
Thank you, Harriet Chimea, and we now shift gears to matters politics. Deputy President William Ruto has rubbished ODM leader Raila Odinga's promise of 6,000 Kenya shillings monthly stipends to poor households. At the same time, Ruto has promised that his government will allocate 120 million Kenya shillings per year to all constituencies in the country if he succeeds President Uhuru Kenyatta. Our reporter Flora Lemuki with more.
As succession politics hits the fan in the country, Deputy President William Ruto now says that the presidency is not a preserve for specific families in the country. This is majorly fueled by the dynasties and hustler conversation in the country.
Hawa wadosi watangoja na kubadilisha katiba. Rege itangoja kwanza.
Lazima muamue kulingana na maslahi yenu, your personal livelihood.
Na safari hii tunataka tuunde serikali ya mahasla.
Speaking in Mombasa County during his 3-day Trails of Charm offensive, the second in command has dismissed the ongoing Mount Kenya Foundation Mogul Safari Park meetings, stating that they aim at choosing an ideal presidential candidate for Kenyans.
Na ndio mnaona hawa wangwana saa hizi wamekwama. Tuliwaambia
tutabadilisha hii mjadala Kenya.
While slamming his political nemesis, ODM leader Raila Odinga, who has promised at least 2 million families 6,000 shillings per month once elected as president, Ruto says that Kenyans need economic empowerment and not handouts.
Lakini usituletee handout. Hawa wa Kenya hawataki handout. Hawa wa Kenya vijana wanataka kazi. Ni kweli si kweli? Ati watupee azimio la matusi, azimio la madharau na azimio la 200.
Munataka 200 ama tununue gari, mashamba, bottom up.
The DP has toured Taita Taveta, Kwale, Kilifi and Nyali in his 3-day tour of the coast region. Flora Limuki, Switch TV.
At the same time, ODM party leader Raila Odinga was in Isiolo County, and our very own David Kagina is preparing that story, and we'll get it in just a bit. Meanwhile, Mandelov CHACHA party leader Alfred Mutua has challenged Wiper party leader Kalonzo Musyoka to exit the national political scene and give way for young and visionary leaders to rescue the Kamba nation, saying that his time is over. Mariam Jahid with the story.
Reactions still linger after Wiper Party candidate Eshio Mwaiwa thrashed to position 3 in the just concluded by-election in Gomasumba, a move that has invoked leaders from the region to question his influence in the region.
Everything in life has an expiry date. Even medicines have an use-by date. The time has expired for Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And you cannot purport to continue saying that you are the leader of Ukambani. The times have shifted.
Machakos County Governor Alfred Mutua has declared that it's time for Kamba Nation to have a new political leader, as Kalonzo Musyoka has been focusing on power, positions, disruptions and waging the tribal card for himself and very little for the people who have kept him at the national table.
Our people are crying out for jobs. Our people want water. Our people want roads. Our people want development. But Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, for those 36 years, he has been concentrating on amassing power for himself and taking care of his immediate family and people who are close to him, but not the general people. Because he's used the old principle that as long as people remain poor and ignorant, they'll still think that he is the master and is the one who will be the savior.
Meanwhile, Kangundo MP Muli Fabian have called all Ukambani presidential aspirants to form coalition together to have one voice so Ukambani community can get a bigger share in the national cake.
Kwa hivyo tunauliza viongozi wetu sana sana wale mnauliza presidential seat. Msichoke, tembea nyumba zote, negotiate. Angalia hiyo national cake ya 2022 mahali Afrika. Ukichoka, hujachoka wewe mwenyewe. Ile kazi unafanyia community.
Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua, his counterpart Kivutha Kibwana and Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka declared they will be on the race for the country's top job come 2022. Mariam Jahid reporting from Switch TV.
11 minutes past 7 p.m. We are due for a short commercial break. More political stories, of course, after the break. But before that, today Kenya has recorded 5 new deaths of COVID-19. 101 patients have recovered from the disease. Even as 156 new cases were recorded, that means the positivity rate is now 3.5%. We now take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Breaking Today. My name is Joel CHACHA and our sign language interpreter is Michael MAHIA. Moving on, as politics gain momentum in the country and leaders traverse the nation selling policies, a section of ODM elected leaders have expressed confidence in the IEBC's ability to deliver free and fair elections. Speaking in Ugunja, where he commissioned handing over a new national cereal and produce board go down, Parliamentary Accounts Committee Chair Opiyo Wandayi said that the IEBC must now stop all the sideshows and focus on offering credible elections next year. Wandayi said the country needed a visionary leader and that Raila Odinga is the best option.
They will not afford to experiment with a crucial office such as that of the president. And as I've said, we have got the fullest possible confidence that the elections shall be conducted in a transparent manner. And the IEBC should waste no time engaging in sideshows anymore. Let them focus on the task ahead. We shall support them.
Najua yule ambao anaweza kupambana na ufisadi ni Raila Amolo Odinga na chama cha ODM. Na hiyo nasema wazi kabisa, na mwaka ujayo ni kama miezi 9 peke yake ambao tutakuwa na kiongozi mpya hapa Kenya. Na inataka kila Mkenya ajitokeze, uende ukapige kura asubuhi mapema.
Still a focus on matters politics, a section of opinion leaders from Western Kenya have called the renaissance of the Luhya nation, saying they will claim, or rather they claim, it will be a voice for the Luhya community, saying those claiming to be speaking for the Luhya community have their personal interest and do not represent the voice of the Mwananchi. Moses Kinyanjui reports.
The section of leaders from Western Kenya have dismissed Francis Atwoli's appointment as the Luhya key negotiator, saying that the only leader they acknowledge is Cyrus Jirongo.
We have talked to so many aspirants, and most of them are of the view that in the name of a man called Cyrus Jirongo, CG, those who know Jirongo, we are actually nominating him as the Luhya, the de facto Luhya negotiator. So if there's going to be any negotiation about the Luhyas, it's going to be Cyrus Jirongo. So anybody else who has been going around announcing to be the Luhya negotiator must stop, because we have seen recently people like Atwoli trying to masquerade as the negotiator of Luhyas. What we saw them do in Buhungu, it's bullcrap, I must say. And they must stop.
The movement's spokesperson says that the Luhya community contributes to a large population count in the country and they need to mobilize its own to dominate representation in the upcoming elections.
We have been talking about turning up the vote, because we understand very well that you can register as a voter, but if you don't go out to vote, it counts for nothing. And they now know, they are going out knowing that it's very important to tell voters to turn out the vote during the election day.
As the IEBC hopes for a greater turnout of voter registrations across the country, the Luhya Nation movement has laid ground to cement their claims regarding the 2022 general election representation. The Luhya Nation movement now hopes that the new set out strategies will build enough traction to advocate for high registration voter numbers ahead of the 2022 general election. Moses Kinyanjui, Switch TV.
Away from matters politics, hundreds of students in Mukuru kwa Njenga now remain at home with no classes to attend after a local school was demolished as part of the ongoing demolitions to make way for the expansion of Catherine Dereba Road that is meant to connect Mombasa Road and Jogoo Road here in Nairobi. Residents now say that the current state of homelessness has led to an increase in the number of defilement cases among their children. Omar Mohammed with more on this story.
This ply of wood and iron sheds was once walls of classrooms in a school that hosted well over 1,000 students. And among the buildings that found themselves on the way of a bulldozer sent out on an assignment to demolish buildings and make way for the expansion of this road in Mukuru kwa Njenga informal settlement.
So as a teacher, most of more than 1,000 kids are affected
and we are requesting if the government, any NGO well-wishers who can chip in to assist the kids.
Besides doing what they can for survival, residents here and parents especially live with fear on their children falling prey for sexual predators.
Wasichana wadogo saa hii wenye walikuwa wanakaa kwa baba yao wakipelekwa kwa mahali kuhifadhiwa, kupelekwa kusaidiwa mahali ya usingizi, unapata baba analala huko, mama analala huko, watoto wanalala huko. So kuna cases za raping, kuna cases za sodomy. Tukiende hapa kwa Palace hapa ya Mukuru hapa chini, St. Mary's, father wa hapo kuna cases ya handle ya rape na hizo sodomy. Hizo ni tabia ambazo kwa hii kijiji asikuwa sinaonekana.
Dawood, who is a youth representative in the area, says that their youth social hall was demolished, making lots of youth now jobless, which will lead to the rise of crime rate.
Hii hall ilikuwa ni youth resource center na tulikuwa na services mob sana zenye tulikuwa tunaoffer kwa hii hall. Kulikuwa na justice center ilikuwa hapo, kulikuwa na mambo za youth empowerment zilikuwa hapo, kulikuwa pia na mambo za activities za watoi zenye tulikuwa tunafanya hapo kwa hiyo hall. Na ukiangalia hii ndio resource center yenye iko in kwa Njenga ward peke yake. Status kikundi pia vijana wengi pia wale walikuwa wanatarajia pia kuingilia pale, wataanza kuingilia crime, wengine waingilie drugs, vitu zingine mingi.
Families in Mukuru kwa Njenga are still on hope that the government will intervene on the matters of the demolition ongoing of the bypass which will connect Mombasa Road to Lungalunga Road and Jogoo Road. Reporting for Switch TV, I'm Omar Mohammed.
Thank you, Mohammed, for highlighting their plight. Moving on, as the world becomes a technological hub, in the last few years, most businesses have shifted to e-commerce in a bid to catch up with the changing times. A 2016 survey by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics (KEBS) established that 39% of private enterprises are engaged in e-commerce, contrary to the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic to other businesses. The existing e-commerce platforms have been beneficiaries of the shift to online shopping in Kenya. The leading buyer to customer platforms are the likes of Jumia, Kilimall, and also the upcoming platforms on social media.
We've seen people choosing to shop online, especially during this time of COVID, because people are really afraid of contacting COVID, so they've opted to go online. The world is growing, things are digital now, and yeah, I can say it has really grown 100%. And they are genuine suppliers, certified by the suppliers.
Time to now get sporty. Gor Mahia came from a goal down to defeat AHLY Meroe 3-1 in the first leg of the CAF Confederation Cup first round fixture. Ahmed Abok had given the host a lead, but Samuel Onyango, Benson Omala and Jus Ulimwengu struck back at the new Suez Stadium in Egypt on Friday night. The Football Kenya Federation Shield Cup champions had to do without their new signings after failing to register them early owing to the initial transfer ban that had been placed on them by FIFA.
خطيرة جدا مكانة وعكسية خطيرة جدا.
Elsewhere, Football Kenya Federation Premier League side Police FC have completed the signing of Clifton Miheso, Musa Mohamed, Duncan Otieno and John MAKWATTA. The newly promoted top side is expected to unveil the players on Friday ahead of their game on Saturday against Nairobi City Stars at Kasarani. Meanwhile, ZAMAEK SC managed to defeat TUSKER 1-0 in a CAF competition, a Champions League first leg encounter at Nyayo Stadium today. Achraf Ben Chaki was the solo scorer for the Egyptian Giants, who approached the game with a defensive approach in the first half before changing tact in the second half to secure the slim win.
Stop from that side. Oh well, the ball close again, a chance for a 45 and then a dummy here, and it's put in the net. It goes in from ZAMAEK.
Elsewhere, the Kenyan government and Kenya Motorsports Federation have signed a 5-year deal to include the Safari Rally in the WRC calendar after the successful hosting of the first event in close to 2 decades last June in Naivasha. WRC Safari Rally CEO Finance Kimathi said recently during the Kenya National Rally Championship event in Nanyuki that 80% of the last year's route will be retained next year, with the 20% being new routes. Kenya to host the 6th leg of World Rally Championship next June. The first edition of Inter-County Mega Challenge was held today at the Rupa's Fun and Fitness Center in Eldoret town. The event attracted over 300 participants from Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, Trans Nzoia, Bungoma and Eldoret, who took part in different challenges including plain aerobics, step aerobics, turbo, crossfit, spin bike and Zumba. Take a look.
The main reason of having this event, we are trying to build cohesion between the counties and peace. We are preaching peace also within the counties. So we are welcoming everyone to come at our gym.
And we now cross borders. Teams playing in the Carabao Cup will be allowed to make up to 5 substitutions for a match for the rest of the season following a rule change. The English Football League passed an amendment from 3 substitutions following a proposal by 14 of the 16 clubs still in the draw. The change has been made after concerns were raised over fixture congestion, and FIFA increased the number of available substitutes to 5 in May last year in response to coronavirus issues, but the rule was scrapped by the EFL before the start of this campaign. Meanwhile, Chelsea will aim to consolidate their position atop the Premier League table when they face Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium tonight at 7:30 p.m. Brentford have proven to be hard nut to crack early in the 2021-2022 season, having been beaten just once after their first 7 Premier League games. Unlike his counterpart in the opposition, Dogot Thomas Tuchel has a couple of fresh roster issues to contend with ahead of the trip to the Brentford Community Stadium. On Saturday, the Chelsea boss will have to make do without at least 3 first-team players. Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel has hinted that Timo Werner could start against Brentford as the Blues travel across London in the Premier League on Saturday. Here's what he had to say.
That we need to be able to produce results consistently. This is the big challenge, and it's always difficult after all the traveling and after all the games for different teams, different countries, different style of play. It's always the same, and it's always a challenge to restart the engines, to restart to restart the momentum.
On the other hand, his counterpart Thomas Frank says a perfect Chelsea side will be hard to crack. Here is the pre-match interview.
Playing against a world-class team, we know that, and they are on paper much better than us, but in the end it's 11 against 11, and the more brave we can be, showing that right mentality, the better chance we have of winning the game. Some confidence that we managed to win against Arsenal and get a draw against Liverpool, and that gives us the confidence that we go out and hopefully put another good performance out there. I'm pretty sure that we put a good performance out there because we are in a very good place.
Well, that's all here on Breaking Today this evening. My name is Joel CHACHA, and our sign language interpreter is Michael MAHIA. My director has been Antoinette Dede and producer David Kagina. Until next time, do have a safe good night.